warm welcome to the A Muttulingam Award Function 2023. On behalf of the Vijaya Vasagar vattam, I would like to thank all the honorable guests on the stage and all the dignitaries, invitees, writers and readers for gracing this momentous occasion. This is indeed a historic evening in the history of Tamil literature. Vijaya Vasagar vattam, in association with Dr. Sasithra, Damodharan, presents A Muttulingam Award 2023 to Mrs. Priyamvada Ramkumar for her translation of writer Jeyamohan's ARAM. A remarkable feature of this function is the coming together of two great women writers of India, felicitating an excellent translator. Miss Anita Agnihotri is a Bengali writer and former IAS officer. Born in Kolkata, she was selected for IAS in 1980. As an IAS officer, she worked in various capacities as District Collector, Principal Secretary, Joint Director General of Foreign Trade, Member Secretary of the National Commission for Women and Secretary, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. While still in service, she wrote over 30 books. She is often compared with another Bengali writer, Savitha Devi. Her book, that is Madam Anita Agnihotri's book, Mahanadi, tells the story of a river. In first person. The river flows through some of the least developed regions of Chhattisgarh and Odisha, and the profound influence of the river on the region's society, culture and economics is brought out in the book. She has been decorated with many awards which include Indu Basu Smriti Puraskar, Sahitya Setu Puraskar, Bangla Academy Soman Chanda Puraskar, Sarat Puraskar, Bangya Sahitya Parishad Samman and Economist Crossword Award. For want of time, I haven't included as many awards as I have read out. Her books have been translated into many Indian and foreign languages, including English, German and Swedish. We are privileged to have you here, Madam. Welcome. Ms. Geeta Ramaswamy, born into a Brahmin family, was a fearless labor union activist in her youth. Even as a student, Geeta Ramaswamy fought for women's rights and the rights of the poor. She started writing as a teenager, a poet, novelist and essayist. Geeta Ramaswamy has published books both in English and Telugu. She wrote in English, but she published in both the languages. Her important books are The Life and Times of George Reddy, the Oxford India Anthology of Telugu Dalit Writing, Here I Am and Other Stories, Life in Anantaram, Taking Charge of Our Bodies, a health handbook for women on their own, a social investigation of inter-country adoption in India, India's Teen King, Manual Scavengers in Andhra Pradesh, The Child and the Law, and Women and Law. I have read only a few titles, not all the titles. I read her book, In Land, that is Land, Guns, Caste Woman, the memoir of a lapsed revolutionary. In this book, Geeta Ramaswamy recounts her own struggles for emancipation in a Brahmin household, her experience as a communist, her disillusionment with the communist leaders, her work with the landless Dalits of Ibrahim Pattinam, helped them to reclaim 14,000 acres of land. She was successful. She lived with the Dalits without basic amenities. You should read the book to understand. Toilet facilities were not there. Open defecation was practiced. Madam lived even in those surroundings. And imagine the sacrifice, born in a Brahmin house. She formed the Pathippagam Dalit Vivasayigal Sangam. She and her husband Cyril Reddy were instrumental in setting up Hyderabad Book Trust in 1980. HBT, that is Hyderabad Book Trust, is not for profit. It has published over 400 titles and sells low-priced books for the benefit of the people. Her life story reads like a veritable page out of ARAM. It reads like one more story in ARAM. Hers is a well-lived life for upholding the torch of truth and righteousness. Hearty welcome to you. Dinamani's editor, Mr. K. Vaidyanathan, is in our midst. He is a veteran journalist who has written over 12 books. He owns his own news agency, has been contributing a weekly column in the Varam without a break for 14 years. That's a record. He entered journalism as 9th standard student and has worked in almost all the states of India. For at least 5 decades he has been a journalist. On behalf of Vijaya, Vasagar, Vattam and everyone gathered here, I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. Dr. Sasithra Damodharan is a gynecologist and a multifaceted personality. She is passionate about her profession. She teaches and she also conducts a lot of awareness programs, health awareness programs. She is very magnanimous also. She has written 4 books so far and many books are in the cards, I am sure. And she contributes to a regular column and she wrote 100 articles and all those articles are to be collected in Puthambudu Kalai, which is soon to be published by Vigadan. Dr. Sasithra Damodharan is presenting A Muttulingam Award to Mrs. Priyamvada. Thank you. Jeyamohan's ARAM fell into the right hands and a great beauty was born. To tweak the words of W.B. Yeats, Priyamvada, the heroine of today's function, has been transported to the same heightened creative state in which writer Jeyamohan found himself while writing the stories. Priyamvada is a natural. She has found the right words to express the right sentiment. The whole Tamil community is grateful to you, madam, for showcasing a celebrated book by a celebrated author in an exemplary manner. You have showed the world how a translated work should read. You have packaged everything that is in the original. Usually, one cannot replicate the dialects or the original linguistic flavor in translation. That is very difficult. Somehow, Priyamvada has traversed it effortlessly. At least it looks so. When you read the translation, it doesn't look forced or artificial. Priyamvada has traversed it effortlessly by sustaining the original tone and feeling. Pen Heim Translation Fund has been granted to her to translate another novel by writer Jeyamohan, Vellayane. A warm welcome to you. The welcome address will not be complete if we don't include 2 important guests without whom this event would not have been possible. Appadurai Muttulingam. A Muttulingam is not here but physically, but he is very much in our minds. He is a Sri Lankan Tamil writer who has written about 120 short stories which have all been collected into anthologies. In Tamil to the world is his mantra. He has accomplished the task of instituting a Tamil chair at Harvard University and the University of Toronto. has helped to realize Bharati's dream. இங்கே உள்ள கலைச்செல்வங்கள் எல்லாம் எட்டு திக்கும் கொண்டு சேர்க்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்ன dream. He was the recipient of Hira Award in 2022. Each story of his is a jewel in the crown of Mother Tamil. His stories are aesthetically crafted. You should read his short stories. They are all aesthetically, beautifully crafted, stylistically simple, very simple to read, structurally organic and thematically universal. Every story is like a pellucid stream that reflects nature. If you peer into the stream, you will find your own reflection in it. Each story has a moment of revelation of human nature. Thank you, sir, for touching upon the very essence of human nature. It was writer A Muttulingam who first said that Jeyamohan is Nobel Prize material. Things have started falling into place with the translation of ARAM, which is soon to be followed by the translation of Vijaya. Shakespeare described the beauty of Cleopatra thus: age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety. Jeyamohan is already a legend. As he ages, many of his works will enter the realm of the classics. As time passes on, his books will all be translated, and no other writer can match the variety of his themes. He writes about many things. He writes about almost everything. As time passes on, his books will all be translated, and no other writer can match the variety of his themes. Bharati's dream will come true, and like Jeyamohan, many other writers will also be translated into many languages. He has enhanced our language and literature. The translation of ARAM, which already enjoys a cult status, will definitely enrich Tamil literary scene abroad. Fame is not new to Jeyamohan, but Jeyamohan is new to non-Tamil readers. Indian readers and international readers will again and again lay their hands on this book and other books by Jeyamohan. We are sure our language and literature will reach all corners of the world through these translations. On a personal note, I have read ARAM 2 times, and I also read the stories of the true. I went through the same emotional journey for the 3rd time when I read the translation. After all, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I welcome writer Jeyamohan with folded hands. Vijaya Vasagar vattam acknowledges with gratitude the presence of writer Nanjil and writer Ravi Subramanian. Savitha Academy winning writer Nanjil is closely associated with the literary activities of Vijaya Vasagar vattam. His sarcasm, satire, his deep scholarship in Tamil language and literature, and his moral anger are all unmatched. Hearty welcome to this EL Award winner. Writer Ravi Subramanian is a poet, short story writer, and a documentary filmmaker, a singer as you already saw. He has been coordinating with all the participants and guests to make this evening a memorable one. He rubs shoulders with the who's who of Tamil Nadu, but still he is a very simple, friendly and warm person. Sir, Jayagandhan's readers are thankful to you for offering us the vintage glimpse into the life of the legend in your documentary. The essential Jayagandhan emerged out of your documentary. Welcome, sir. I welcome writer Su Venugopal and writer Gopalakrishnan. We also welcome the members of Pollachi Ilakkiya Vattam. Hearty welcome to you. A few words about Vijaya Vasagar vattam. Under the unwavering guidance of Velayudham Ayya, whose name is synonymous with books, Vijaya Vasagar vattam has been unassumingly active in identifying and honoring good writers. Velayagam Ayya himself is an avid reader and a book lover before anything else. Kettle Sahib in Sotru Kanakku feeds the hungry. Velayagam Ayya's Vijaya Pathippagam feeds the intellectually hungry. Like the protagonist in Sotru Kanakku, we are all indebted to him for his ARAM-oriented book business. He is as much celebrated by writers and readers as he celebrates them. He has authored a book titled Idayam Totta Ilakkiyavadigal, in which he recounts his friendship with great writers. On his behalf and on behalf of Vijaya Vasagar vattam and Dr. Sasithra Damodharan, once again we welcome everyone assembled here. We welcome the press persons and all the other guests. If I have omitted anyone, I'm sorry, but we welcome everyone once again. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very sorry that I can't speak in Tamil. I will speak in English. Distinguished guests on the dais, Mr. K. Vaidyanathan, Mrs. Geeta Ramaswamy, Dr. Indrani, Vijaya Vilayudam, Dr. Sasithra, and of course our young talented award winner today, Priyamvada Ramkumar, and all of you who have come today, distinguished writers, cultural personalities. I can't tell you how happy I feel because you have made me a part of this wonderful celebration. I write in Bengali. But I also represent India in a sense that I write about the Indian reality that is outside the boundaries of Bengal. But this is wonderful, being a part of this celebration. It's like a festival around great literature, which we do not see very often around the writings in Indian literature. And it began with such a festivity. I immensely enjoyed seeing the musical video on A Muttulingam, in whose name the award is today. It is also his birthday today, so my best of wishes to him. And the beautiful rendering of the song by Mr. Ravi Subramanian. I have felt so wonderful since yesterday. I came with a one-stop flight from Hyderabad, and it was a long journey. But as soon as I came here, I felt that I am part of the family. This coincidence of so many beautiful things. One is the award is in the name of Mr. A Muttulingam, who himself has been a magnificent writer himself, and he has been tirelessly trying to promote internationally Tamil literature. It is again supported by Vijaya Vasagar vattam and Dr. Sasithra Damodharan. I'm sorry, my pronunciation of Tamil names is not correct. And it is again for a young talented translator, Priyamvada Ramkumar, and the translation itself is from the magnificent writing of Jeyamohan. So many things like a stellar constellation is happening today, and it is great for me because when I see literature celebrated, it is life that is being celebrated. And the great Indian tradition, we often think, many people wrongly think that India is a monolith. India is not. India is reverberation of many voices, many Indian languages, very many distinct cultures, and it is our duty to see that we prosper together as we get more and more people to read good literature, because this is the way we also celebrate the lives of the Indian people all over the country. I have read this book, which is a translation of Jeyamohan's short stories, ARAM and Priyamvada's translation. She is extremely talented. It is not only a competent translation, she has been able to get to the roots. I mean, whatever, though I don't read Tamil myself, but the cultural sensibility she has brought out, the depth to which she has gone, and the understanding she has reflected at this very young age is, it is truly deserves to be celebrated, and she is duly being rewarded. And the thing is that she also is translating another novel of Ms. Jeyamohan, which is good news for us, because people like us who can't read Tamil, I've heard so much about Jeyamohan, but I was not able to read so far about what is written. I must say, though it doesn't match whatever Dr. Indrani said, because standing here and speaking about Jeyamohan is something I am not capable of. He is an amazing writer, but the word amazing does not convey what his writing is about. It is not only the depth of his moorings in the roots of this country, it is a tremendous expanse of ideas, feelings, and each time I read it, it's not very easy to read him. Each time I read him, there is a churning of so many emotions in my mind, and you are amazed at the range of characters he has created. I don't know, he has created, because at one place is written that he felt as if all the characters are around him inside a room and he is writing about them. So his writing has come out of his own soul. So no other writing can actually match this. And when I was young in school and I read Leo Tolstoy for the first time, I remember I had a similar kind of emotional reverberation within myself. And when I read Jeyamohan in English, I felt the same thing. I will of course wish that he wins the greatest award that is possible on earth. But what we are witnessing today is, the response his writing has been able to create in people. And it includes people like me who have spent over 50 years in writing. And it also includes people who may not be writing, who may be just reading. So, if a writer can create an impact of this nature during his lifetime, you can imagine what a strong writer he is. And I must say that Priyamvada has done a wonderful work by bringing out this book. Translating this, it is not easy to translate this. She has done a wonderful job, and I'm sure that Mr. Jeyamohan may not be interested in knowing who reads him in English, because he is very happy writing in Tamil. But even then it's a service to literature, because we all want that he is read beyond the boundaries of Tamil language, read by all Indian audience, all Indian readers. So this is a wonderful moment, and I wish all of you in the sense, Jeyamohan, Priyamvada, and all of you present here, a very good time ahead, delightful time. Coimbatore is a city where I have earlier come for the Vishnupuram Literary Forum meetings. I spent 3 days listening to absolutely beautiful Tamil, but I am sorry I did not pick up any. But maybe high time, next time before I come back, I must pick up Tamil, otherwise it will be quite a shame. And again, thank you for the generous introduction, Dr. Indrani. It is nothing. Whatever little work I could do as a civil servant, I always felt my expressions I could give as a writer to the feelings and the realities of the fellow Indians is much more than what I could achieve in my own career. And thank you once again for making me a part of this celebration. Have a very good day. Thank you.
Ellarkum vanakkam. That is all the Tamil I know. From here I speak in English. I am not a speaker. And when Priyamvada asked me whether I would speak, I said, I don't like speakers also because they catch this mic and they never let it go and they bore us to death. So I don't want to be one of them. I'm not thanking anybody. I've come all the way here. I think that is an expression of the joy that I felt when I read the stories of the true. I don't know Priyamvada. I have never read Jeyamohan before, and I picked it up casually in someone's house because one story I had heard was very good and done in Telugu. I said, let me just see. And then when I started reading the book, and see, my hairs are white. I am a publisher, so I read some 10 books a week because I must decide what I need to translate into Telugu. So I have a wide reading list. And this book, I could not read it at one go. I read one story, I had to put it down. I could only take up the next story after 2 days. Book took slow reading, and I was honestly, I mean, I'm not given much to praise, but I put out, I think, a post on Facebook saying that this is one of the best books I've read. This is the best book I've read in a decade. In 10 years, I haven't read such a book which has moved me so much. And then I passed on the news to my friends that, more people must buy this book. And then afterwards, accidentally, I think Priyamvada saw this and asked me whether I would come. And I've never spoken in any book before. See, as a publisher, you don't want to give an author fatter head. Author has already big fat head because everybody is praising him or her. Forgive me, but that is what I have observed. And I am not a writer myself, I am an activist, and if I write, it is only accidentally to write about the work that I am doing. So normally, I don't want to praise an author, but this book has been really something out of the ordinary. I think publishing it in English, there are two things I want to talk about. One is publishing in English, one is what is publishing in the Indian language itself. Now more and more writing in Indian language has limitations because our children are learning English. This is very true in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, less in Tamil Nadu, and even less in Kerala and Bengal, where you still love your language. But more and more we have to accept that in India, English being the language that is a language of power and of livelihood, more people are going to learn English. Many children are already going to English medium schools. In my own 2 Telugu states, since the last 5 years, all government schools have English as the medium of instruction. So we have a lot of problem in Telugu is that people are not wanting to read Telugu. You have less of a problem here, but I think even in the Canadian diaspora, I don't know how many, whether Muttulingam's children, do they read Tamil? His grandchildren, do they read Tamil? No, I don't think so. But the same thing, the culture lives on, the language lives on through film, through conversation, etc. So if our children want to read our language, English is important. Because in English, these stories are being conveyed to those people who cannot read the script, but know the language and know the background of the region. So in that sense, I think English is important to pass our heritage on to our children. And now, how important is English to get a place in the wider world? I mean, you might want Jeyamohan to win the Booker Prize or the Nobel Prize or whatever. I don't know how important awards are because though I'm very glad for Priyamvada, because this is a debut work, I think young people need to be encouraged. But Jeyamohan, I think, is happy where he is. And what I saw, because first time I met him was, I met him only once, the second time was at the Bangalore Literary Festival. And because I had read his book, I said I must hear this person. And what I saw was there were limited seats in the auditorium. And the hall was full for the previous panel. And those panelists thought, oh, we got big audience for us, everybody is seated. When that panel got over and walked off, nobody in the audience moved. And then it was clear that they all had occupied seats in advance for Jeyamohan's talk. They were all Jeyamohan fans. And when he came, there was a standing ovation for him. This is in Bangalore city somewhere. Standing ovation for him. That kind of love, that kind of affection and respect, you will not get from an English language reader. You will only get from Indian language reader. because English is a language of snobs, of snooty people, and everybody wants to think, I am better than her, I am better than him. It's only, I think, in the Indian language that you have this kind of respect. So I think that is something to be cherished. I see that here in the way they have organized this meeting, in the way you have addressed, you have attended, and from what I heard, what I hear of the Vishnupuram Literary Circle also, it's something amazing going on. So I think the two jobs are important. One is to keep Indian language and reading alive, and at the same time to translate works into English so that our heritage is passed on to our children. I think apart from this, I have nothing valuable to say. So thank you very much.